But then this time around, I just remember thinking, now I'm not going to sit here and claim it was my idea. I don't think it was my idea. They probably were planning on doing this the whole time, but I did not have conversations with them. I just remember like not sleeping one night. This was after I had been given a script, and as soon as I was skeptical at first. At first, it was like, let's do a sequel, and I'm like, heck yeah, you tell me where, you tell me when. And then I had a little bit of like, well, I don't want to do just like a phony sequel. I don't want to just like, we're not just doing this for money, are we? You know what I mean? Like, it's been 8 years. Like I think if we just wanted money, we would have done an immediate sequel.
Yeah.
2 years later. Like, they really think there's a story here. Okay, like let me trust these guys. And I had finally read the script, was overwhelmed by the script, like loved the script, loved where we were going with all this. But I knew, even though our budget was going to be much, much, much bigger than the first film, I knew that we couldn't like split up the schedule.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can't film myself as younger Bart and then grow my hair and beard out for 2 months and then come back and film.
Yeah.
Because we don't know when Milo's available, Dennis is available, Sophie, Ariel, all these big people that thankfully agreed to come do this project with us, Trace included. Yeah. Like we don't really know when they're free. You get the point. So I just remember not sleeping one night and then calling the directors and saying, hey, I think we have to film this backwards, right? Like the only way this makes sense is if we start out with like shaggy, hairy Bart, depressed, overweight, overstimulated, overwhelmed, and then we'll trim it back 10 years and do Bart when he's a little younger, a little more light in his eyes, a little more energy, and then clean shave, almost short hair, to kind of look like the first film and do the flashbacks. And so that's the way we did it. We did 35 straight days of filming and just did everything backwards. And I don't use the word miracle often, but like just another reason that like this movie was meant to happen, because like so many things could have gone wrong schedule wise, you know what I mean? Like somebody bumps into the hairdresser and like she runs a razor down the middle of my head. You know what I mean? Like who knows what could happen? But I just want to add, in addition to that, the reason I was so determined to like use my hair, my beard, like I don't want to use wigs, I don't want to use makeup, I don't want to use a bunch of gray on my sideburns and stuff like that, is because we're telling a story about mental health. And I can't remember if you said you'd seen the sequel or not.
Yes, I did.
But yeah, and this, I don't think we ever even used the word depression, but I think if you've seen this film and you connect to it, you understand that this is a film about mental health.
Absolutely.
And it's also a film about physical health, type 1 diabetes and cancer and things like that. But I just knew, because I struggle with mental health, probably like a lot of artists do, it was very important to me to like get this as accurate and as close as possible. And so I was just really determined to like, I want my beard to look natural. I want my hair to look natural. I want my eyebrows to look natural, not out of vanity, but like, I don't want people to watch this film and be distracted by special effects or wardrobe, or look at that set, look at that costume, look at that. No, people need to be distracted by what's happening right here. And I don't mean me, I mean Milo and Dennis and Trace. And so the production value was incredible. Like they did an amazing job, but truthfully, this is a black box film. This is a film about an intimate story, and we just tried to be as raw and vulnerable as possible. And I think it really helped to be able to grow my hair out and to be depressed and to be overwhelmed and to have a little baby at home. I'm struggling with fatherhood and my wife and I are doing just fine, but like I think we all struggle with our relationships sometimes, and struggle with faith, and struggle with once again, I'm closer to 40 than I'd like to admit, and like the midlife crisis is fast approaching. And so it was just super therapeutic for me to kind of work through some of the stuff, but I wanted there to not be any distractions for the audience. Like we don't need wigs, we don't need special effects. Like let's just tell a story here, and let's use our energy in that way.
Yeah, and it was very very well done. And I'll be remiss if I didn't mention this. I want everybody that's listening and watching, go check out. I'm going to be leaving a link to this episode on the show notes company's episode at theundersegovia.com of John's interview with one of the directors on the Kingdom Story podcast. That was very illuminating. You open up about that, mentioning why this is very therapeutic,